embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
Hello. How's everybody doing today? I see that Twitter is being a little bitch, and I'm having trouble tweeting when I'm going live for some reason. So it used to have, you know, when you like sent a link and it has like a little box of like a little preview. It's not doing that anymore, and it's actually failing. Like I can't post. It just says failed. And then I guess I can get rid of the box, and then I can send it, but then it's just a random link. So, but yeah. Anyway, rant over. Whatever. I'm live. I'm here. I thought today just kind of a very casual, kind of getting some quests done, like side story quests, and just letting the game, I guess, do most of the talking. Like, of course, I'll be here. I'm talking and all that, but let's just kind of lay it back. Let's relax.
A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
All right, so first, before we do anything, we do have to do our commissions. Always do your commissions. I'm gonna try and go around, because I have Kazuha's story quest up right now, so that's where it's trying to take me, right? But I want to do my commissions first. There's always so much talking. Without the fireworks. Yeah, those are fireworks. They're working. You ever set off fireworks? I have not. Closest thing is probably those little sparklers? Sparklers? That's like the closest I've ever gotten. Because it's dangerous, you know? People have talked about like, oh, getting too close and losing a finger. But I used to live in a state that it was hard to buy and get fireworks. And now I live in a state where it's kind of a little bit easier to buy them. Like, they kind of just have them at the grocery store, but before, growing up, like, nope. Supposed to go here? Oh, I see it. Well, I'm surprised he didn't die right away. Where's... oh. This is gonna hurt.
One with nature.
Take flight!
We have to end this. Allow me.
Into the wind.
I saw a TikTok that was talking about, oh, there you are. Like, the best healers in Genshin. Oh, there's more? Oh, it's just you.
My will embodied.
Oh, whoops.
Sakura swirl.
I meant to do Shenhe's burst there, but...
The wind knows me.
My apologies.
Oh, it got pretty close there. I did not know that it was taking that much damage. Oh, but anyway, I saw a, just talking about, like, the best healers in Genshin, and it went in, like, the top 14, which I don't know why 14, but they just went with it. And so, like, of course, some of the bottom tier ones were, like, people I don't even associate as healers. Like, they were even talking about, the new character, Cloud Retainer, Zhang Yun? That's what she goes by when she's not Cloud Retainer? I have her and I don't even remember her name. I just call her Cloud Retainer, but, like, they're even considering her as a healer, which I didn't know she had, like, any healing aspects to her. Grab you. But of course, obviously, number one was kind of like a gimme. Look, I was surprised that Kokomi was only number 3, I think. But they, you know, this person who was rating them.
Another test subject.
Number 1 was Bennett.
Whirling snow.
Who was number 2? They put Cookie. I was like, really? But
The wind knows me.
I mean, I guess I kind of see it. I don't really use it too much though.
Suffocate.
Kamisato art. Sometsu.
Where's the... Oh, I already knocked it down. Great. That's all I need. Grab. Oh, I didn't grab the grab. Perfect. What is this last one? Defeat the... Okay. Realize I didn't turn my light. Maybe my model will kind of be a little bit more active now that you can actually see my face.
Hold the line.
One with nature.
My apologies. Do your master's bidding.
The... Alright, and then... I can't remember if I've already condensed my resin or not. I might have already done, so now I need to go spend it, but take a look.
Add Astra. Thank you for completing. Add Astra.
I'm so happy they now have like a dispatch again button. It makes it just so much easier. Why can I? Oh, I can. Perfect. Go. Done everything there, so let's continue on with what I was in the middle of. I forgot what I was in the middle of. Yes. Time for a story. SShhh story. I have no energy left.
Hey there! We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him?
Oh yeah, that's right. Someone's looking for Kazuha, apparently.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall anything of immediate interest. Mr. Kaedehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaedehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa! Oh, wait. Even at that price, you probably still shouldn't.
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money
You're
by
not
revealing
legit
details of
enough.
other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaedehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads. I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now.
Cat.
I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
Cat, we got
It
attacked.
seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaedehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me tell you about it just in case.
You reminded me that
During times
Inazuma
like this, the
characters
more
have two
information
names.
we have, the better.
All right then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city
And
at
I
around
was
the
like,
same time.
oh,
One
yeah.
of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma. Now there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma
Let's say most of
Toko,
them. I
the
don't think
owner of Amenoma Smithy.
Goro
2 grown
has
men
a...
going missing at the
Do you have
same
another
time.
name?
Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much in the way of details. I recalled this
No,
because
he does
Amenoma
not.
Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries
If you go
at
to
the Amenoma
Inazuma
Smithy.
characters,
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving shortly
oh,
myself.
okay, they're not... Give us the full name. Here it is. Okay, now they're giving me all the
A blade
characters, as in
embraces
like
its duty. As a jeweler
unplayable
cherishes their
characters.
gems.
Jesus. Here we go. Girl doesn't have one. Chiori, the new character that is like literally out right now, doesn't have another name. Kiara, I forgot that she is a... I forgot she exists, and I forgot that she's part of Inazuma, I guess. Sayu, Toma.
I only wish life could be as luxurious
Yoimiya
as
doesn't.
a
I thought
little
Yoimiya had
moth.
another part of her name.
How greedy of me.
But most of them have like 2 names.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha. What brings you here today?
You two know each other?
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the 2 clans.
Also, both names
After
of the
I returned
clans,
to
I
Inazuma,
believe,
I
represent
visited Mr.
wind.
Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties. And just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma
sharpens
art
iron.
strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water, as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedahara
I will
clan
say,
has fallen
his
on hard
item that I
times,
gave him, Iron
its
Sting,
ideals and
is one that
virtues
you,
are alive
you
and
craft. So.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse. And neither of them came back. Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Do
Person.
you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told,
But
we
he's
have
not
some
interested in,
information
like,
that
sword
you may
making?
find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
Oh?
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry, you have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Do I know anybody from the Nagato household? I don't know, the name sounds familiar to me, but... Don't worry, we're just taking a little detour.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now.
Oh no.
My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has someone
We're stressed,
information
woman.
come out? Do
You
know
are
where he's
alright.
gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him.
First, is he in a
Making
trance?
ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Okay, well maybe that's why he ran away.
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family?
Important to
Had I
set
not
boundaries.
indulged his bad
I was
habits,
just telling
we
my
wouldn't have
coworker
found
that.
ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Amin Omayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, It is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Carrie, come home. Alright, that's all. When you said I just want to come home,
Based on the information we've
come
gathered so
home.
far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and,
Explain the
nope,
disappearance.
never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation.
I think it's that.
I was also considering this possibility.
Thank you.
Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some problematic details about Mr. Nagato's collectibles. Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, the two men agreed to hide the truth of this matter. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryou Commission began investigating and uncovered some incriminating details, so they fled to protect their secrets. But it's a far-fetched theory.
Sure.
I can't imagine how they would have been able to reach an agreement. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Where is this warehouse? That's not a warehouse.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear.
Okay, well, you gotta be
As sketchy as
quiet,
that whole
man.
thing seems. You did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
But there's nothing here.
Hmm?
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma, the remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed, But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this
And it caught on
place,
fire?
but the residue
Underground?
it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time.
I think my right earbud finally died. Oh no! Oh, Kazu. Yeah, I'm doing the Kazuha's story quest. Because I have to complete his story quest to complete another quest to complete another quest to complete another quest. Hello there, monkey. Welcome back. How you doing today? LMAO rip? Yeah. It's... So, my... I can't show it because I'm in a cutscene. But, the... main Archon quest, it got split into two. One is like, I think, moving on to Fontaine, which was also the one that talked about like Dane's Leaf and all of that. And then the other one is to talk with Nahida more about my sister. That one I can't do until I finish all these story quests. Doing alright, just doing some fishing. Fishing in Genshin? Fishing in real life? Oh, woohoo. Yeah. So, like, I could just ignore it, but I'm like, I also been meaning to get through these story quests. Because they're, like, just taking up so much space in my journal, my quest journal. And also are ruining, like, all the other quests, so... In Genshin? Nice. Oh, I haven't gone fishing in Genshin in a while. I know I did a lot of fishing to get, Zhongling's, the catch, polearm. So she's got that now, and I think... Do I have it at a higher rank? Oh, I don't remember.
From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys
Boy,
into violent
I got a kink in my
monsters,
neck.
but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will.
Oh.
Their interests become fanatical obsessions.
I'm working on getting
Mr.
the
Nagato
refinement
had an interest
materials
in
for the
collecting
catch.
to begin
Nice.
The
Yeah.
influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now?
I think I'm gonna try my Bluetooth buds tonight.
Step back.
Then lose both of them
I'll open the door and
overnight.
take a look
Nah,
inside.
you're not. Because they wrap around the... No, you didn't get the wrap around the ears one. Oh, maybe. You know what? Just good luck. Good night. I hope you don't lose your earbuds. Sleep tight. I love you.
If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us!
Oh yeah,
All we
the
can do now
boogeyman.
is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place. Two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you too will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
Sorry, I want to go see... there she is. I have it as refinement rank 2, apparently. Oh yeah, I don't have any. Huh. So I have it at 2, so I must have gotten refinements, like 1 stack of them, and then just kind of gave up and then forgot about them. So thank you for reminding me. That's something I'll have to do at some point.
This is a day in the life of the traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time.
Probably just do this. Oh nope, that didn't help. I'm just going to where the circle is on the map, to be honest. I do see the smoke, but... Okay, I'm gonna go drown in the water.
Appears to split into 2.
Problem, I fished up all the pufferfish, so I need to go to other people's worlds to fish for more. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that you could do that. I thought, like, fish would just pop back up, you know? Like, oh, I caught all the pufferfish for the day, you know? I gotta wait a couple days for them to come back. I didn't know you could take all the fish, and then they're just gone forever?
Quite possibly.
I mean, it's fish. They can reproduce.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Let's take a closer look, as in killing them.
Sakura swirl!
One with nature.
Fish take 3 real world days to respawn.
Look at this
Yeah,
What
that
is
seems
it?
about right. I think I remember doing that when trying to get the catch.
Written on a piece of torn clothing.
But I guess I understand that, yeah, you wanna really get the, you wanna be efficient every day. You don't wanna like waste 2 days waiting for the fish to spawn. Hey, look at that, he wrote a letter. Oh, he was wounded by him. Whoa, okay, so he burned the house, stabbed him, and took the sword. Aww. Did he die?
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
Then after I finish, I'll work on getting the Slave Cedar Ferryman? Oh, I don't think I know that one. Is that another fishing weapon that you can get from, like, catching fish and then, like, exchanging it for a weapon?
So, where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us.
No.
Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's
Yeah, it's
nothing more
from
for us to
Fontaine.
find.
It's a, oh, that's why. That makes sense also why I could not pronounce that name. Yeah, I am not at Fontaine yet. I am in the process, like the transition phase of going from Sumeru to Fontaine, but I have not been to Fontaine. I haven't technically unlocked it yet, so that makes sense why I haven't heard of it. But that's cool. Is it what good a sword that is good for who? Is it good for Farina? She's sword, right? I want to get it in case I ever get Farina. I was right. Yeah, I have heard Farina's pretty good. I mean, she's an Archon. She better be good.
Yes. Right now, we need to uncover some more important truths. If Ame no Mayuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right, so let's get moving.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected, it seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
Wait, you figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may find ourselves in danger.
Oh. I have never been to this island, I don't think. Boat.
He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
It's
I'm
an
not
island
sure.
that not many people know
But on
about.
closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
He's here.
Show yourself. It's no use hiding anymore.
And his projecting voice.
Kaede Harakazua. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Mayuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Mayuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Ooh, look at that blade. I want that. Can I have
Now
that?
that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sail as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame no Mayuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaedehara clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great
cannot
renown,
wait for
a
Snezhnaya.
master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So, swords can become conscious and control people?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. But that gave me the opportunity to take action. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
Ah, so Amenome Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenome Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenome Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun.
Oh.
Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Okay, we're gonna fight. I can sense this. Okay. Oh, ha ha ha.
My opponent, by ordinance divine.
Rewrite history!
Allow me.
The wind knows me.
Join me!
Take flight.
And that divine light! Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
It's funny
Lost.
when
I can never lose.
the trial
It's
character
this body
is
that
already
has
in
reached
your
its limit,
group.
nothing more.
It's already in your party.
Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure. By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting
Damn.
style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance. as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you?
Yeah.
On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr.
Oh.
Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles, did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step you have taken has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal.
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing
Yeah, back
reality
into
offers
reality.
me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
Oh?
Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, We shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still
He's
not
just
completely
saying this
devoid of
out
honor.
loud.
The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
Sounded so, like, romantic-like for the situation that is happening.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Oh gosh.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since.
Are you gonna make me, like,
Alright.
fight, like,
Please, lead
10
the way.
waves of enemies?
What about Amenoma Yuya? What should we do with him?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty treacherous journey. Okay, fine. Just be careful.
Oh, I probably can just teleport there. Duh. Oh, it's way up there. Go. Hi. There he is. Go. Oh, I'm only Kazuha.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
How's this? One with wind and cloud.
Into the wind.
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right.
Wow.
The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he is instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Oh. Is there any in here that I missed? Doesn't look like it. Alright.
The wind knows me. Into the wind.
Finally, it's my lucky day. Perfect distance. All in my way. Adorn my night.
The wind knows me.
How do you get his E back so fast? What?
The fairy.
Whoa, something's up with the blade.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
Ooh.
What would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
1 minute, let me see if there's any chests around here. Nope, nothing. Aha!
One with nature.
Time to go.
The one guy, right? Okay.
Time to go.
Into the wind.
One with wind and
Trying to get
cloud.
fire in this, even though I know he's also fire, but he's still taking some fire damage though.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Damn,
Yes.
okay. Thanks, Paimon.
Looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this time.
Don't worry, I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
No. Okay. I thought I'd be able to use my actual team this time. When he was like, oh yeah, we'll help. Or I'll use my own blade.
One with nature.
Come on. I know you're gonna charge at me. There you go.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night! Into the wind!
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent
At the name of
blade it
Raiden?
is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense
Probably
of regret
not.
for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry, from here on I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Damn.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things.
Treasure. Treasure. Treasure.
When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But he never wished to rival the gods. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Shame it's too late now.
Yes.
Still thinking
It is
about
too
that
late.
one guy who got stabbed in the
Time would
stomach.
not wait or stop because of his determination.
Like,
While the world moved
are we gonna
on,
have a very
his
dramatic
ambition remained
and
stubbornly
sad
stuck
scene
at that
of them
fleeting
having to go
moment at the
tell his
dawn of
wife that
journey?
he's dead?
He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
Or are we gonna find the body and he's like magically alive? He's just passed out.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Amenoma Yuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Amenoma Yuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. He must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryo Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention.
All right, then let's move on.
Did they mention that
More
he
Ronin
killed
could
a
appear
man?
At any moment, we can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
Big chest. Oh, we're going far. Oh. Wasn't this the place that we, like, first met? I remember seeing, like, the...
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still
I
can't
remember
let our
the
guard down.
chest in the background.
Even now, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that Blade hasn't told us everything. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, it's hard not to feel a teensy bit sorry for him. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. All right then. Successor of Ishin art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenome Yuya.
Are we gonna have,
Honored
like, a
to cross
cutscene?
blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Give us the cool cutscene. Okay, nope, we're just fighting.
One with nature. Clouds high. The birds call.
is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided to let him do it.
But... Guess there's nothing we can say to change your mind, huh?
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind.
What's your name?
Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
Oh, that's such a cool looking blade. Do I get to keep it now?
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
Thank you.
Shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation.
Paimon,
And
how
it's
dare
also
you
time
make
to give
this
him a
quest
response
even
to the
longer
offer
than
he
it
made
needs to
me.
be? Stuck.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved.
Wait, isn't this the guy who was like in love and was going to marry that one girl that we like?
The Tenryou Commission
That was like the
has already
first thing we
attended to the
did in
danger of the
Inazuma
warehouse.
was basically pass a
Investigation
love
into
letter.
Amano Mayuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Dude, Jesus.
Tegotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well, I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
Fontaine. What?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
I knew he was gonna fucking say that. Is that the last thing you say? Oh my god. The last sentence of that quest?
Paimon was ready to ask her
Let's
a
see
million
where
more
the
questions,
wind...
but didn't want to seem too pushy. Like,
Whoa,
about
wait.
these descenders. So
I can... Oh my gosh. All I needed to do was... I just had to do... Kazuha's. I was prepared to do like 6 other story quests. I only had to do Kazuha's? Why did I have to do Kazuha's? What's Kazuha? What did that have to do with Nahida? But okay. Oh my gosh. But let's go. So what are you yelling at me for? Oh. Whatever. Cause yeah, look at all of these story quests. I might have opened all of them. Oops.
And as for your sister, whew, so many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.
I can't believe that that's all I had to do. Go here, navigate. Well, now we can do it. Now we can do this quest. So let's do it.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you?
I love this guy's
It's
voice.
soon a mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But that's all the way in Inazuma! Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business.
I
Maybe
see.
it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
I see why I had to do because of her story now. I would have never been, I would have been like, oh, what's that? I don't know what that is. It's in Inazuma? I didn't know that.
Great! Let's go find out what this Tatarasuna mystery is all about.
Sorry, was trying to move it like Final Fantasy XIV there.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. Ugh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck. And
Silver
out of force of
hair?
habit, I started...
I thought it was more white.
Examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places.
I guess it's like a very light,
so
like a white silver.
Actually, we
That
don't
makes
know
sense.
much about that
Like it's
place
not
either.
full white.
In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about
If you don't
Tatarasuna.
mind.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows.
Bruh. Okay.
Apart from the sword maker, his servant, and the one
I
who
know,
wrote this
I
all
got it.
down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kinda fishy to Paimon.
It seemed
my
like we
thoughts
just
exactly.
solved that case
So I
like
helped
2
out
minutes
too.
ago.
I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatara Suna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in the story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Oh,
Yes.
the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
A puppet.
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Or it could be the puppet man. What's his name? I don't remember his name. I needed to get his stuff for Kazuha though. I just kept on calling him the puppet man. Oh no, I don't remember his real name.
No, Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Oh my gosh, I am not reading all of that. Okay, cool, thanks.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
I am not reading that. Great job. Great work. A+.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
That was pretty good. That's pretty good.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it?
Oh, Paimon caught on.
Then, even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
He's back?
Did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... the Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Oh, is this when we meet the Wanderer?
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the Balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough. You're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Suristana? Aren't you supposed to be Lack Death? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me. A deal? You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Wait a second. Former? You mean, he's not a Harbinger anymore? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be. Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him! Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right. Then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nahida, are you serious about this? Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that? Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly. Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him! I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it. Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help? I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great, thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Ooh.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time.
Right.
The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling?
Ooh, is it like a dungeon?
Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow.
Oh.
So this is the inside of Irminsul. Ooh.
Ooh.
Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so... say we did go running off in here. What would happen?
You don't want to know.
What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
Oh.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Oh. I wanted to touch them. Okay. Will not touch them this time. Bruh's gonna walk towards it and touch it. Oh.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge tree!
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our
heads? That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Whoa, Paimon, it's like he's a human being.
Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Okay, I'm starting to get tired, but I want to get out of this area first.
Oh? How interesting. Those two
The game probably wouldn't let me leave anyway.
Through guesswork alone.
So the Gesse got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait! How did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Oh?
Hey, don't you forget the agreement! You have to share it with us!
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all.
Oh.
It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
Oh great.
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatarasuna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, SShhh. But is this really the truth?
My
Got a
good
name out of him.
sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to
Oh,
speculate.
there it goes. Excuse me.
And I didn't want to believe
That was
things could
stuck
turn out
in
this
my
way.
chest for a while.
What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, SShhh? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, SShhh. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
I have a
After
coworker
all,
who looks like Escher.
Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, SShhh. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside.
I am the
Probably to my
captain
death.
now.
But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
I had a feeling when he turned his back and then Escher walked up closer, I was like, he's gonna kill him.
I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them.
Yeah, it is.
Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that,
who are you?
You still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The
Oh.
Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience
I was like,
for your nation.
because you could hear his voice drop and change, but I could not. I was like, who does he sound like?
Technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity.
Is he gonna change? Yeah!
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was. I'd
Who is
like
the
to
voice of the
introduce a
doctor?
puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Dude, oh, what? Mick Wingert?
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore?
He was the voice of Heimerdinger in Arcane?
Dottore! Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine? But why did we see things from his perspective?
He's also the voice actor of Poe?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his
Which
segments,
makes no
I read
sense.
this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
My gosh, he did the voice of Poe in like every possible short or video game you could think
Give
of.
him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was
Okay.
stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Hey.
Tor, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Oh, at least he's now mad at the doctor.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
Yeah, sure. I guess that makes sense. Okay. Why does everybody want to hold my hand?
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Wow, what a response.
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Aww. I'm taking it as an aw moment.
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
Oh no.
From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey! Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone,
That way he becomes the
I
wanderer.
guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
How are we gonna find him? In the tree?
Oh no, he's really gone. Oh, can you hear me? Nahida! Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power. It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out. I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had? Where the heck did he go?
So he's trying to get rid of.
We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
He wants to erase
Don't be.
his
It's
existence.
not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
Oh, okay, we're just gonna teleport. I was so ready to run.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something? This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me. An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay? Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe. Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly
I feel
grab
like-
onto you before?
I feel like she's going to save the human, but she's going to not be able to bring.
He wants to change the past?
Yeah, she's not going to be able to bring back the past of the Balladeer, and so she'll be like, here he is, but he's no longer the Balladeer. He is now. We're in a different time period where he is a wanderer, and he's not the Balladeer, because the Balladeer is gone.
Right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it. So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Oh, Paimon's so confused. Huh?
Okay.
Sorry. Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress.
That's very weird that they made a whole scene of her breaking it.
It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul? and it's still not working. Ugh! Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight.
Go to sleep so I can go to sleep.
How about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes. Cream stew. Sauteed matsutake. And Dragon chili chicken. Almond tofu.
Door is wide open. They could just leave.
Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and
Naming the whole catalog, I see, Paimon. Hi there, Muffin. Thank you for stopping in. How are you doing? I think Paimon is just saying that she will eat anything.
what was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. The balladeer?
It happened.
Is that a food too?
It happened. They don't know who the volunteer is. Doing good. How are you? I'm also doing pretty good.
Was it something Paimon said?
Oh my gosh. I started this quest and it's so long and I just want to go to bed, but I want to get to a part where I'm not in the middle of a cutscene. But I'm doing great though. I don't have work tomorrow, so I can just sleep in tomorrow, so it's alright. It's not like I'm missing any sleep.
So, the balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
Miru main story? Yes. There's like two parts that like break off. So it is part of the main story, yeah. It's like the ending of Sumeru. And then the other main story is ending of Sumeru on your way to Fontaine. So
Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Find my
oh, thank God. We're gonna go back to Inazuma, which means that I have to teleport there. So that means that we're gonna be at the end of a cutscene. Yay! I'm free! Alright. I finally started Sumeru, and I'm already tired of it. It's good, I will say. I do like the beginning main story of the Sumeru part. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but beginning part's really good. The desert area, I'm not the hugest fan of. I don't know, I wasn't the hugest fan of that area. The ending is like, whoa. The ending is definitely a, like, I don't know if you play Final Fantasy XIV, but Final Fantasy XIV, when you're about to get to a really big cutscene, they give you a little notification being like, hey, you're about to experience like a very long cutscene. Make sure you set some time for yourself to view these cutscenes. Like, are you ready to proceed with these cutscenes? They really should have done that with the ending of Sumeru. Because it was really good. But oh my gosh, it was like I don't even know how long it was, like 30 minutes at least straight of just cutscenes.
A blade is like a tea leaf.
But again, really good, really good.
Sample it many times.
I'm curious of going to Fontaine because of like what I've heard about the Adepti there. Or not Adepti, the Archon. Is that just dead?
A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
It's only the end. It's only the end. I do feel like these Sumeru, like the end of Sumeru cutscenes, have been getting super long compared to like all the other cutscenes. So then I'm also a little bit afraid going into Fontaine. I'm like, oh crap, are they gonna make these cutscenes so long in Fontaine now? Like, I'm gonna talk to one person and have to sit there for 20 minutes. I really hope not. Pretty. I just want to go to Fontaine because the guys, OMG, I basically lived underwater when they added it. Oh yeah, yeah, the guys there. Who is Neville? What's his name? Yeah, look at the characters. Well, there's him, Punchy Boy. Yeah, Otter. I call them by what I associate them with. Yeah, Neville. I'll learn how to say his name. And then he's Worcestershire sauce. Warothisili. Warothis. Niuviete? I try so hard. But he's really cool because he became the first Catalyst Cryo. And then she came like right after him. But it was kind of cool because I really like Cryo. I like the Cryo. I mean, you saw my Cryo team with Aika and Genha, Kokomi, and Kazuha. I have her now? I don't remember getting her. Oh, I got her when I got her. That was it. Gun. I kind of liked it. She's cool. I'm not gonna really roll for her because I don't really need her, but I liked the double sword action going. Oh yeah, then there's the twins. The magic twins and younger sibling. Who else is there? Oh, you are. Of course, you. He's technically from there, but he's like hanging out in Liyue. Oh, she's there. Yeah. Be quite interesting. Gaming, my boy. Yeah, I really like him. I can't level him up because I don't know what Fontaine is, so... You know, he's kind of stuck at level 20 right now. But I want to have a team. Wait, I have it here somewhere. This team. So Gaming, Bennett, Xingchun, and Xiangyun. I read it as gaming at first too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I was just like, yo, gaming? I could play as gaming in Genshin. Let's go. I want to do that. I want to be gaming. But I know, yeah, gaming makes sense for the pronunciation. Sometimes I still just call him as gaming. But this seems to be a really solid team. But I can't level him up anymore, and I just didn't really work on her. And then I also have my Raiden team too that I'm working on a little bit. This was my old second team, but I don't really play them much anymore. And then of course my main team.
I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy.
Alright. I really gotta go to bed. So, I'm just gonna say good night to everybody. Oh, what'd you have? I have my basic 4 stars team, Bennett, Kaya, Lisa, and Traveler. Oh yeah, I mean, let's see. Oh, fire. Is Traveler Animo, I'm assuming?
A blade embraces its duty.
Oh no.
As a jeweler cherishes their gems.
My phone is yelling at me. It's at 20%. That's why my model stopped there for a second. Oh no. Hydro right now? Oh. Nice, nice. That would make sense for that team then, yeah. Alright, well, it was great talking with you, Muffin. Thank you for stopping by. I gotta get going. My phone's gonna die.
Its duty.
So,
As a jeweler cherishes their gems.
Thank you, thank you. We got a lot of story done. We got Kazuha's story done, and then we got started on the quest that I wanted to do and learn about my sister and such, and about the Balandir. Balandir no longer exists. Oh no. So, thank you for the stream. Have a good rest. Thank you. You too. All right, and have a good weekend, everybody. I'll be off for the rest of the week, and I'll come right back on Tuesday. Hope to see you guys then. Bye-bye.